Social media has been in somewhat of an uproar ever since the trailer for the new live action for Lion King was released, revealing that Scar was actually the rightful king, and he was the one that saved Mufasa. Mind blown. It made me take another look at their rivalry because knowing this backstory and then knowing how it ends is kind of devastating. When you think of the Lion King, the iconic rivalry between Scar and Mufasa is probably one of the first things that comes to mind. It's a story of power, betrayal, and a family torn apart. But as we can see, their relationship was even more complicated than it seems on the surface. In this video, we're looking at the messed up relationship between these two brothers, exploring the roots of Scar's jealousy, the harsh realities of their upbringing, and how their rivalry set the stage for one of Disney's most dramatic story. With that being said, let us get to the dark secrets behind this classic sibling rivalry. Well, to begin with, Scar is one of the most iconic villains in Disney's The Lion King franchise. He was created by Irene Mecchi, Jonathan Roberts, and Linda Wolverton. The character was brought to life by animator Andreas Deja, who played a crucial role in shaping Scar's menacing appearance and movements. Scar is introduced as the younger brother of Mufasa, the reigning king of the Pride Lands. From the start, Scar is shown to be envious and bitter, traits that set the stage for his eventual betrayal. Initially, Scar was the first in line to inherit the throne, but everything changes when Mufasa's son, Simba, is born. With Simba now the heir, Scar's jealousy and lust for power grow. Scar's villainy reaches its peak when he devises a plan to eliminate both Mufasa and Simba. He teams up with a group of hyenas, who are portrayed as outcasts in the Pride Lands, promising them food and power in exchange for their loyalty. The plan unfolds in one of the most tragic scenes in Disney history. Scar manipulates Simba into a dangerous situation, leading to Mufasa's death while attempting to save his son. Scar then deceitfully blames Simba for Mufasa's death, causing the young lion to flee into exile. Now Scar's character is heavily influenced by King Claudius, the main antagonist in William Shakespeare's Hamlet. In Hamlet, Claudius murders his brother to seize the throne, much like Scar does in The Lion King. This parallel adds a layer of classical tragedy to Scar's character, making his betrayal even more profound. Beyond Shakespeare, Scar's villainous traits also draw inspiration from real-world figures and natural behavior. The creators looked to Adolf Hitler when crafting Scar's tyrannical rule over the Pride Lands after Mufasa's death. Scar's use of fear, manipulation, and alliances with the hyenas mirrors how dictators like Hitler operated. Additionally, Scar's actions are rooted in the natural behavior of lions in the wild, where male lions often fight for control of a pride, sometimes leading to brutal takeovers. Animator Andreas Deja designed Scar's appearance with several influences in mind. He drew inspiration from Jeremy Irons, the actor who provided Scar's voice in the original 1994 film. Irons' role as Klaus von Bülow in Reversal of Fortune also influenced Scar's design. Von Bülow is a character known for his cold and calculating demeanor, traits that Deja incorporated into Scar's expressions and body language. Apart from that, the original Lion King was going to be different from the story we know today. The plot centered on a rivalry between lions and baboons, with Scar leading the baboons as their villainous leader. This version of Scar wasn't even related to Mufasa or Simba. He was just a rogue lion stirring up trouble. As the story evolved, the writers decided to drop the baboon plot and make Scar a lion. At first, he had no blood relation to Mufasa or Simba, but the creators later thought it would make the story more intense and emotionally charged if Scar and Mufasa were brothers. This change added a layer of family betrayal that made Scar's character much more compelling. Scar went through several iterations before becoming the villain we see in the movie. At one point, he even had a pet python as a sidekick, but that idea was scrapped. Another dark twist in Scar's character involved him becoming infatuated with Nala, Simba's childhood friend. In this version, Scar wanted Nala to be his queen, but when she refused, he banished her. This storyline was deemed too creepy and was ultimately cut from the movie. It was supposed to be explored in a reprise of Scar's song Be Prepared, but that too was removed. There was also an alternate ending where Scar actually defeats Simba and throws him off Pride Rock, only to be consumed by flames himself. However, this ending was considered too dark for young audiences, so it was changed to the more triumphant version we know today. Scar has to have a patronizing quality as the main antagonist. According to the directors, this trait makes Scar particularly menacing. Unlike earlier Disney villains, who often came across as somewhat bumbling or comical, Scar is different. He's intelligent, calculating, and uses manipulation as his weapon of choice. In fact, Scar isn't a villain who relies on brute force. Instead, he schemes and plots, making him more interesting to watch. His quiet, almost sneaky approach to villainy draws the audience in, as you can see him thinking and planning his next move. Even Scar's first line in the film, "Life's not fair, is it? You see well, I shall never be king, and you shall never see light of another day," foreshadows the entire plot. It hints at his jealousy and the lengths he's willing to go to achieve his goals. This line was slightly tweaked in the 2019 remake, but it still captures Scar's worldview and the underlying reasons for his actions. Now that we have spent enough talking about Scar's villainy and the plot around his character, let us finally address his smeared relationship with Mufasa. So it turns out we've had the relationships in The Lion King all wrong. We always thought Scar and Mufasa were blood brothers, but that wasn't the original idea. According to Rob Minkoff, the film's director, and Don Hahn, the producer, the characters were never meant to be biological relatives. They were members of the same pride, sure, but their relationship was based more on how real lions interact in the wild. Don Hahn explained in an interview that in the wild, it's common for male lions in the same pride to not share the same parents. When an old lion can't lead the pride anymore, a younger rogue lion usually comes along, defeats the older lion, and takes over. This is how the dynamic in the pride shifts, and the filmmakers wanted to capture that truth in the story. Han also mentioned that sometimes you'll see two male lions in the same pride, but they're not equals. One will always be more dominant, while the other hangs back in the shadows. This idea influenced the relationship between Scar and Mufasa. They weren't supposed to be from the same gene pool, because it wouldn't make sense in the context of lion behavior. When you think about it, this perspective really clicks. It adds another layer of realism to the film, making the story of the Lion King even richer. The filmmakers didn't just create a simple tale of family rivalry. They dug deep into the natural world to craft a story that feels both epic and authentic. And that's the story behind Scar and Mufasa in The Lion King. It's pretty surprising to learn that they weren't originally meant to be blood brothers, right? And now this new adaptation is making me understand what Scar was probably feeling. I mean, you save this guy, then beg to get this guy in your family, and he proceeds to take your rightful place as king. Let's just say, I get the anger. But the filmmakers really put a lot of thought into making their relationship feel real, based on how lions actually live in the wild. If you like this video and want to hear more cool facts and behind-the-scenes stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I'd love to know what you think. Does this change how you see Scar and Mufasa? What was your reaction to this new live-action trailer? Are you going to watch it? Drop your thoughts in the comments.